Hello and welcome to the Chinese Cartoon Podcast, a podcast where we don't talk about Chinese cartoons at all, but rather those Japanese animes. This week, we're one man down, but we're still going to keep going. On my left sits Dr. Faust.
Hello.
On my right sits Flame.
And
behind me sits Ringo.
Why am I behind you?
Why wouldn't you be?
Okay, hi.
This week, we're going to be talking about an OVA from the 80s called Robot Carnival. But first, we're going to talk about what we've been watching this week, or past 2 weeks even. Let's start off with Mr. Faust.
Past 2 weeks have, for me, mostly been airings, with a couple of episodes of Macross Delta littered in there. I've been watching, Princess Principal, Fate Apocrypha, and sorta kinda Symphogear AZX.
So all terrible shows outside of Symphogear.
No, I would say all actually fairly good shows. Symphogear.
Oh, no one likes Fate Apocrypha, come
do.
on.
But it has fate in the title.
But it's crap, and it's not by you for
So?
tables, so people can't just jerk it off.
Well, so the characters won't be as stiff then?
And they'll have noses. I mean, like,
It's that good that you
no,
got stunned into silence.
Apocrypha is. I imagine most people familiar with the Fate franchise are at least familiar with the fact that it's like a battle royale. Except there's two sets of servants this time. Ooh. Yeah.
Twice the characters you
no,
don't
but,
get to know.
Is there
No,
Ren?
there's not a Rin face in this.
Well, then I'm not going to
There
watch
is
it.
a saber face though, though that probably won't be. Which one?
She's worse girl though.
She's slightly less than optimal
Wait,
girl.
Sorry, do you guys mean Rider or Saber of
Hmm.
Red? Or sorry, Ruler or Saber?
I don't know what you mean now.
Joan of Arc or
I don't know
Mordred?
anything about Fate.
You're going too deep.
Yeah, you've gone. Okay, we're moving on now.
Fine. No.
Got anything
Go.
else to say about what you've been watching?
Shit all over the things I like. Go ahead. I don't care.
No? Okay, well, could talk about something else. Flame.
I have also been watching Fate Apocrypha. Well, not in a couple weeks. But I've been watching it. Princess Principal, Maiden Abyss. Couple other ones. The Maiden Abyss is the best one of those. Definitely.
Yeah.
Princess Principal's really pretty. So it's got that going for it. Is by the writer of Code Geass though, so it's
Gonna be some
gonna
amazing
go
writing.
straight to shit.
How many twists have there been
2.
already? Christ. Was it third
Well, I mean,
episode?
It is a spy show, so there is kind of supposed to be twists.
If you got to set it up before you do the twist.
That was sort of
Nah.
set up for the first one.
Like GoldenEye, you don't get a twist till a couple of episodes in. Well, not episodes, it's a film, but like half an hour in at least.
And as far as non-airings go, I watched, I finished Ping Pong the Animation because of, last week's talk about our favorites. And, I rewatched Bakano, the dub. And I watched the specials, which I did not know existed. So that was a nice surprise. And I've watched up to episode 10 of Gundam Zeta.
Ooh.
Yeah.
How many slaps has Camille had so far? Is it around
God.
50?
He had about 50 in the last episode from
Yeah.
Wang, I think it was.
Oh, yeah, Wang. Oh, if you watch Double
Yeah,
Zeta,
he just beats
there
the
is-
shit out of him.
There's a great moment with Wang in Double Zeta that you can look forward to. When he comes back, and the new pilot isn't taking his shit.
He seems like an asshole so far, so...
He has money,
should
so...
be something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad I finished Ping Pong. It was really great. I don't know what the fuck was wrong with me. last time I watched it. I didn't care too much for how it got resolved, but I guess it doesn't make sense, but it works well for the story. I just think there's no way in hell anybody is getting that good at something that quickly.
You haven't watched Baby Steps, have you?
No, I have watched hardly any sports shows. I've watched Chia Yafaru and I dropped Haikyuu. I also came around to the Bakano dub.
It's good.
Yeah.
If you don't know what American accents are supposed to sound like.
I did come around to a lot of the crappy, accents, especially Jacuzzi's. His is so good.
I mean, they all have American accents.
Hmm?
They're just not necessarily regionally correct American accents.
Not particularly good ones, though.
Fair.
But yeah, it works well with the more wacky aspect of it, I guess.
Okay. And finally, Ringo, what have you been watching?
Well, I mentioned Baby Steps. I actually went through and watched everything that's available for that the last couple weeks.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's like 50 episodes, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 2 24-episode seasons, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
So, yeah, that was fun. I'm actually reading the manga now, but there's not a lot available after what ended in anime, unfortunately.
Okay, I've heard good things about it, but tennis isn't a sport I care about, so I haven't got around to it yet.
There's a couple things that really bother me about it, but overall it's a pretty fun watch, I think. But I'm unfortunately one of the types of people who tries to pick up everything at the start of the season and then hopefully dwindle it down.
No.
Luckily, I've dwindled it down to 11 series.
Christ.
Jesus.
But I'm pretty sure
I thought I had a lot with 4.
I think it's going to drop a couple more after this. There's a couple I'm keeping on, like that stupid smartphone one, just like I have something to laugh at because it's so stupid. There's one where a guy dies and God's like, oh, you can keep your smartphone if you want.
Wait, isn't that Mirai Nikki?
Less edgy and less everything else about it.
Oh, wow. No, I couldn't do that, sorry.
Yeah, there seems to be a couple pretty decent ones this season.
Yeah, Made in Abyss is like the big one that's new. And then, of course, you have Rage of Bahamut and My Hero Academia still going, which are both fairly strong.
I'm trying so hard to get into My Hero Academia, but I hate how whiny the main character is in the first, 5 episodes, because that's as far as I've gotten in the first season.
Yeah, I can understand that.
I get you're supposed to, really feel for him and, root for him, and I'm sure at some point he's going to, be on the same level as everybody else, but it's just I just can't take it. It's too much.
Yeah, no, I can see that. In season 2, he does get a lot better, and in general, that show gets a lot better in season 2, but that's 12 episodes you have to get through. I mean, the end of actually the first season's pretty damn good.
I think just one of these days, I'm just gonna get really drunk and try to power through the first couple, and hopefully get to what everyone's talking about.
Well, it's got a good dub, so you can put it on in the background and watch it, if you like that sort of thing, or doing the washing up or the ironing or something.
But yeah, that's about it. Just airing stuff right now. I'm watching a couple other TV shows in America, but we don't talk about that here.
No, we only talk about the damn Chinese cartoons. What I've been watching, I've watched a couple of airings, but I don't really care about airings that much. The first one is Wolf's Rain. I finally finished that. That's a really good show, and I don't know why it's been completely forgotten about. I mean, it features everything a 14-year-old anime fan will like. Wolves, violence, wolves, Yoko Kanno, wolves, post-apocalypse, and wolves. Everything a 14 to 16-year-old anime fan will love.
But does it have bestiality like wolf children?
No, but it's really fucking good. I think it might be a bit too allegorical for a lot of people, and they're like, what is the actual story? Why aren't I being told exactly with lots of exposition what is happening and what the world's supposed to be like? this is going to sound very elitist, but I think it might just be a bit above the level of a lot of anime watchers and the effort they want to put into it.
That's a problem with a lot of Westerns have with anime, though, is that, like, they treat the audience like a baby and, like, explain every little thing. And
yeah, but they're not anime fans who say that. That's the issue.
yeah, and then there's people who like being told every little thing, spoon-fed. So.
No, I think it's an incredibly good, well put together series, with lots of influences, and you kind of work things out yourself, and of course a lot of it's allegorical. I can't say the word now. Fuck it. Allegorical. My mouth, it's having issues. Yeah, and I think that's actually a really good one to show people who are maybe wanting to try anime, or have just finished Bebop and want to finish that because it's a lot of the same stuff as Bebop. And the other thing I've been watching is Belladonna of Sadness, which is the third part of the anime Rama trilogy, which was started by Tezuka back when he was with Mushi Productions. I think it was Mushi. Where he basically made 2 films and kind of planned Belladonna. So it was Cleopatra, Queen of Sex, and 1001 Nights, and the aim was to prove to the world that anime could be an adult art form, and like a proper serious art form. And they're a bit risque, shall we say. I mean, one is called Cleopatra, Queen of Sex, and they're not particularly good, some of them. But Belladonna is really interesting. It's about a witch. It's got a really psychedelic 70s art film kind of look to it. It's definitely not for everyone, because it is an art film, and some people can't stand art films. I kind of like them some of the time, and sometimes they're intensely boring. But I think it's definitely worth a watch. I mean, if anything, watching a man shitting out fish after watching a woman's vagina turn into a lion, that's worth it. Yeah, it gets weird. If anything, just watch the Red Band trailer on YouTube, and I think that'll do you in some ways. Oh, and the devil looks like a penis, and it gets bigger as she gets more powerful. The witch gets more powerful. No, it's just a really good little film, and it's annoying that it costs 25 quid to buy on Blu-ray in England. But that's the price of it. Nobody wanted to buy it, and it being an old anime.
Wait,
so that sucks.
You can buy anime?
You can buy anime, and I like to buy physical stuff. I like my discs.
I caved in and got the collector's edition to Kimi no Nawa.
Oh god.
I'm supporting the industry.
Yeah, but I just don't get the hype around that film. I think it's alright. I think it's a decent 7.
Yeah,
I don't think it's...
I'd give it a 7. Actually, I could tell you exactly what I give it.
I don't think it's the greatest film of all time, like some people think. No, I don't get the hype. I think there are better films. I think Wolf Children's better for starters.
It's really pretty.
Yeah, that's one of my problems. I think its art is too clean. It just comes off feeling cold.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, there's a couple moments where it feels like the characters are definitely separate from the environments.
I know. But then again, I do like cell animation a lot better than digital. Because I like that warmth of the hand-drawn stuff and the little errors you get. And it looks amazing in HD. Which is why I spent 100 quid on Bubblegum Crisis. Because I'm a fool. But, yeah.
Wait, you spend £100 on Bubblegum Crisis?
Yeah, because they only had the collector's editions left.
Jesus Christ.
So it comes in a really nice box, and there's a fuck ton of extras. But it was 100 quid for 8 episodes. But it's likely never to ever get reprinted again, so in some ways it's worth it. I don't know, I'm justifying it to myself now. Came with art cards, okay? Art cards! And it does look really, really pretty in HD. Anyway, I think we should probably get to the main topic.
Yeah, probably.
You are so enthusiastic.
We seem to have...
Yay!
Yay!
Okay, I'll not edit that. I'll make it sound as pathetic as it was.
I thought I heard a girl's name. But that kid looks like a boy. But that kid looks like a boy. But that kid looks like a boy. But that kid looks like a boy.
Okay, so the main topic of discussion today is let me just check when it was actually made. The 1987 OVA made by APPP, Robot Carnival. The history of this thing is Mr. Katsuhiro Otomo even, the guy behind Akira, decided to get together lots of animators and people who did character designs in order to make a series of short little films and make them into one big film. And the really only connecting thing they had to have was robots in them. So I think what we're probably going to do is go through each of them one by one, because that's probably the best way to do it, I assume, unless anyone has a better idea.
Nah.
Well, they're all
enough.
very separate from each
Yeah.
other, so yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's really
apart from the opening and ending, but I was going to do them together anyway. Yeah. So we'll start. Actually, no. What we'll do first is overall impressions. Did you enjoy it? Do you like anthologies? Let's start with Ringo.
You know, there were a couple episodes that I really liked, but then it's like I just wish I had more of those episodes instead of the ones I didn't particularly care for.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, that's kind of the nature of anthologies, isn't it?
Yeah. But it was interesting to see how much they could squeeze into the short episodes, kind of like the first Little Witch Academia OVA, where they were able to squeeze so much meat into such a short amount of time. But yeah, I mean, some of them were really good, and some of them were like, I'm falling asleep.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I think we all do. Flame, what did overall impressions of it?
I quite liked it. I thought the ones that were good were more than made up for Cloud.
Shh, don't be so obvious.
Yeah, I like most of them.
Good.
So.
And Faust.
I thought it was pretty good overall, but it seemed like a lot of them felt really self-indulgent. I know that's kind of the nature of the beast for that sort of thing, but...
And it is the 80s, remember? They were probably all very high and rolling around in money.
Yeah, 80s OVA.
I mean, this is 87, this is...
fat cash.
This is literally like 2 or 3 years before the bubble burst, so it was batshit insane time in Japan in terms of the economy.
Yeah.
So, yeah. No, I can understand that. I like it overall. Yeah, Cloud. But apart from that, I like how deliciously 80s some of this thing is. And
Yeah.
I think, despite the fact I don't think a lot of them have much to say, I think a lot of them are just fun for the sake of being fun. And I appreciate that.
Yes.
Watching it made me want me to watch Legends of the Galactic Heroes again. That's sort of like general art style.
Well, yeah, one of these people did work on it, if I remember correctly. If I look at my little cheat sheet,
Ooh.
because I've written about this one before. Or maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I don't know. Anyway, what we'll do is we'll start with the opening and the ending, because they're both by Katsuhiro Otomo. And they kind of frame the film with the same connected story, sort of. What did you guys think? Who wants to go first?
I mean, I thought it was cool to look at. I mean, not a whole lot's going on story-wise. It's just whatever's happening on screen and how well it looks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't think it's trying to say anything. I think it's just supposed to be... And here's me making explosions.
Robots
I like
being
explosions.
dicks.
I think that's the consistent through line of this film is robots can be dicks.
Well,
I think it was an
the one that
interesting
didn't
way...
have robots.
What?
I said except the one that didn't have robots.
They all had robots.
No?
Which one
Yeah,
didn't
they
have
did.
robots?
Which one didn't have a robot?
Starlight Angel.
Starlight Angel. It did have robots. The whole theme park had robots in it.
No, I mean, it had the one in VR.
Yeah, no.
The VR
like,
robots
that
count?
one guy wasn't a robot, but there were robots there.
They're video game robots. I don't think they count.
Yeah, and that VR robot. That was controlled by mine.
Yeah. I like the amount that I guess world building that the intro and outro had. I didn't quite get it at first, but when I thought about it for 2 seconds, when I was wondering why they were freaking out so much about the advertisement, I was like, oh, the robots are probably advertising that the circus is coming to town, so it's how they know that the thing's coming.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Its story is silly if you think about it, because that death machine would always have been a death machine. So who in their right mind would have built it? But I think it was interesting. It was fun. I think it was an interesting way to show the title rather than just having a title appear on screen. Is to have it actually involved in a story. And I really liked how it ended. I liked the guy finding the little ball years and years after it died, then we're all looking at it and then it just exploding on them, because it couldn't have done anything else. It had to explode at some point. So I thought, and a little donkey upside down. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it seemed like a very sort of Monty Python way of opening and ending it. I sort of thought.
Yes. Yeah, that font looked like the Monty Python font they used for a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Actually,
it's kind of the silliness for the sake of being silly.
Yeah, I actually hadn't realized that, but now that you mention it, it did look a lot like the big Monty Python thing on Holy Grail and Life of Brian.
Yeah. It looks very similar actually. The more I think about it, there's no way they could have seen it, is there? No.
Well, when did they come out?
Well, they were well before this, but in Japan.
I don't know.
I mean, you Americans didn't get it till way after we did, so I doubt the Japanese would have got it. Unless there was an actual massive Anglophile on it, on their team, but I don't know. Anyone else got anything to say about opening ending?
It was very pretty.
Yeah.
It was very pretty.
I mean, like you said...
Well, what was the guy who did Akira?
Guy who did Akira just before the big OVA bubble burst, so...
Yeah, unlimited money is what we're saying. Okay. If that's all we got to say about that one, let's move on to Franken Gears, which was by Koji Morimoto. He was an animator on Akira, Dirty Pair Project Eden, Kiki's Delivery Service, and Mind Game. He founded Studio 4C and the Labour Union of Japan Animation Creators Association. This one very much felt like it was aping Fantasia.
Yep.
You could have easily stuck it in Fantasia and it would have been fine. My big thing about this one is, this is the one that most benefit a move to HD, because half the time you can't see what the fuck is going on, and a lot of the details are lost because it's so dark. And HD would bring that all out.
Yeah, it was very very lively. There's
a lot moving.
Something going on in every section of the frame.
Especially when it was coming to life and you said all the things breaking and stuff.
Spoilers.
We're breaking all the spoilers, and it's short. It's 5 minutes long. No, 10 minutes long actually.
One of them was 20 minutes long, or close to it.
Yeah, Presents, but that's the big one everyone talks about. Presents, but it looks amazing. Kind of dull to be honest, but it looks amazing. With lots of everything moving and highly detailed stuff moving all the time, and then weird color inversions that don't really make sense and don't really fit, but hey.
Yeah, the facial animations on the creepy old dude were very lively.
Lively.
Was there any particular reason why all but 2 of these shorts were silent?
Save money.
Yeah, they're really going to be saving money in 87. They're probably just burning million yen notes in the office. If it was
pretty much just an art house thing, I doubt they had any good many good voice actors on staff.
Well, also remember, these are all character designers and animators, so they're very visual, and so they might have wanted to tell their story through visuals rather than speech.
And that didn't always work.
I think for the most part it did.
Cough, Cloud, cough.
Well, Cloud, yeah, we'll get to Cloud. Hold your horses.
It works in some situations, like the first half of WALL-E is pretty much no dialogue.
Better than the second half.
Ooh.
Oh, it is. It's so much. First half of WALL-E is some of the most perfect filmmaking ever, and then they involve the humans.
We have a chopping track?
And it gets worse. I'm right, and you know it. Franken's good. There isn't.
I was just gonna say it's like you said, it definitely felt sort of early Disney, or I was actually kind of reminded of the early Superman shorts a bit, like the like really
see that.
intricate, like really detailed mechanical stuff.
Yeah. Well, yeah, this was the height of mech designers and stuff. So,
Yeah, I mean, half the people working on it were like they worked on Zeta, Double Zeta, Char's Counterattack.
yeah.
I think those were the big three.
I mean, and Koji Morimoto's worked on loads of these things. Wait, let me just check. He's worked on... Yeah, he worked on Kira, what's it? Golgo 13, which has lots of mechanical stuff. Memories, he directed. The Animatrix, he worked on as director. Or one of the directors, that's another anthology. Co-directing the currently airing 18F, which nobody is watching, because it's shite, apparently. Are we done? We're done with Franken Gears? I take that as a yes.
Yeah. There's nothing more else to
probably.
say.
I mean, there's not really a lot to talk about there.
Yeah, fair enough. Let's move on to Deprive, otherwise known as the most 80s things to ever 80s. Oh no, wait.
Jesus, yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's so 80s. It's beautiful. This one's by, let's try pronounce names, Hidetoshi Umori. That's what I want to think.
Is this the one where the robot goes to save the chick that got kidnapped?
Yeah, and they fight glam rock Hokuto no Ken Thug at the end.
Yeah, it's so 80s.
So the guy directed this. He was an animator on F91, Turn A movies, Symphogear. He's worked on Symphogear and he did Megazone 2-3. Plus, he was an animation supervisor on Zeta Gundam and Char's Counterattack, which makes sense if you watch it, because it's like, oh wait, this is weirdly reminiscent of Zeta.
So many of these is just like, as soon as they like get to the ending, I'm like, and then they fucked. And then they fucked.
But he's a robot.
I
Does he have a robot dick?
I mean...
Even though he can grow skin at will, apparently.
This is the future that they're depicting.
Clearly. I mean, clearly if he can grow hair, he can grow a dick.
I can grow hair, I can't regrow a dick. Your logic fails, sir. I'm sorry.
Wait, you mean you
this
can't
one again is
normally
just kind of...
regrow dicks? Like, I thought you were able to jettison it when you got scared.
No, I'm not like a lizard, sadly. I'm not a lizard living inside of a person trying to take over the government.
I thought that was all UK people that could do that.
That would be pretty hilarious, though. But that would be just like every time someone like says, "Oh, I'm not on the pill," just ejects the dick and runs away. Or she, whips out the strap on, just like, "No, keep the penis. I'm going." Anyway, Deprive. That's an anime thing.
I had no clue what was going on in it, and I did not.
There wasn't
care.
much going on, to be fair. It was robot.
Just fucking RoboCop going through.
Well, I think the basic story was robot
killing people.
Was like robot pet or like servant of the girl. She liked him, but maybe not sexually yet, because he was a robot still. Hadn't grown his man flesh. His dick. And then she gets captured by glam rock thug guy whose hair is ridiculous. I think that's up there for greatest hair of all time in any anime. Like green like strands. I don't know what was going on there.
Octopus hair from EBK.
I've never seen EBK, so
they were just showing it on
on
the Twitch Crunchyroll thing that they're doing this weekend.
Oh yeah, that happened.
I'm gonna be honest. You're only really missing one good arc.
Yeah, the Twitch Crunchyroll thing I just didn't get into at all because I can't read 3 things at once. Or 2 things at once even. And most of the shows they were showing I don't care about. Like Mob Psycho and Yuri on Ice and all of those things. And Hibike Euphonium.
There's nothing today that I want to watch on it.
Yeah, and they should have put the classic 80s stuff on. Why didn't they put on Sin the movie? They've got that on Crunchyroll. Or, I don't know, all of Naruto in one go.
Jesus, that would be like a year.
All of One Piece. It wouldn't take that long, actually. I think I worked out it would take you like 8 days or something if you skipped all the filler arcs.
Oh, they're not going to do that.
And watched only like 14 hours a day.
What robots?
Yeah.
Yeah, Robocop, Robot Carnival even. Yeah, there wasn't much going on here. There's some cool fights. Some weird directing choices. It did that thing of someone moving, and instead of having them smoothly move, they kind of had moved him to this new spot but kept the old one in kind of a translucent thing. If you know what I mean. It's where you say yes or no.
I don't really remember that happening, but that might have just been...
Like the crowd at the beginning.
Oh, yeah, okay, actually, yeah, I think I know what you mean.
Yeah, and it's not that it happens quite a few times, and it's not that they didn't have the budget or the time to do it properly.
Yeah.
That was clearly an artistic choice, and it's a weird one, and I don't quite get why.
This was one of the ones where it kind of was just like, just not at the interesting level enough for me to retain it in my head. I remember crazy hair, big fight at the end, and 80s music.
I mean, that's pretty much the whole thing, so you retained most of it. You missed out his cool speeder bike, though.
I do not remember the speeder bike.
Don't remember his speeder bike? He had it for all of 10 seconds.
I remember that I yelled out one kick man because he started kicking people and taking them out in one shot.
He did. And then
Yep.
and then he got his ass beat real bad, and then somehow just regrew his skin.
The power
He's
of
weird.
love. Power of love?
It is indeed the power of love.
If robots are growing souls, we should just kill them all now.
Oh wow. So if
We should. We need
Anyone
to
else got
stop
anything
the
else to say?
AI uprising.
or are we moving on?
I mean, it was like... reminded me of the music video for Princes of the Universe more than anything, I think.
Ooh. It's a good show. It's a good music video. And I love that song. Was no swords though.
Yeah, no, just kicks and,
And no
lasers.
Frenchman with bizarre accents.
Jesus. A Frenchman pretending to be Scottish.
Or a Scottish man pretending to be Spanish. Yeah, God, Sean Connery. He really doesn't play anyone but Sean Connery.
No, not really.
Okay. If we're done with Deprive, let's move on to the juicy one. The one that everyone loves. Present. By Yasuomi Umetsu. He's the guy who created the Kite franchise. Because that's a porno that people get too invested in. And he also did character designs for Megazone 2-3, Part 2, which is why the ones in this one are so insanely detailed. Because Megazone 2-3 Part 2 has notoriously crazy character designs that the animators fucking hated having to do. He also was the key animator on Standalone Complex, Grave of the Fireflies, Kizo Monogatari 1, Welcome to the NHK, The Read or Die OVAs, Time Stranger, and Tokyo Magnitude 8.0. This is the one everyone likes because it has a bit of depth to it and it's longer.
They didn't keep the same staff on all the Kizu movies?
I assume not. I mean, they might just... I assume it's when people are free to do stuff, so...
I assume they just
But
made
animation-
all three in one go and then split it up into 3 parts.
I don't know. Well, I don't know. He's only a key animator, so I suppose they could swap them out. It's not like he's animation director.
But yeah, this was a good one.
I actually didn't like it that much.
Like the really, really good one.
Boo.
No,
You don't like the...
I did. I did laugh so hard when he's like, "I'm a feminist," and I was like, "Ah."
Hashtag nice guy.
But his wife's just too masculine.
Yeah, my wife. My wife doesn't pay
Needs a
attention
better
to me, so I'm
waifu.
going to build a robot girl. Ooh. Yeah, this one has some juicy stuff. Go on, one of you talk. I talk a lot.
It's definitely eye candy, like just beautiful, flowing animation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like,
and yet everyone looks like turtles.
Well, only he does. The little robot girl doesn't.
His wife kinda does as well.
well, they are. Yeah, whenever they try to do foreign
Okay,
people in anime, it looks weird. In general,
I don't know if it was because of the animation was almost too smooth at times, but A lot of the times, like the movement of people, I thought it looked very odd.
The thing I compare it to is when you do, was it the interpolation to 60 frames per second and it just looks all wrong? It looked like that some of the times. And
Yes.
I suspect that was on purpose, but I just don't know. That feels like the sort of thing that he did on purpose to make it unsettling and weird. But I honestly couldn't say, but I definitely know what you mean. The hands especially.
When his daughter, it was towards the beginning, when his daughter came in and was like, I'm going to school. She's like, I thought
Maybe
she was a
she is?
robot.
She is.
She moves like
I
one.
don't think she is. Because she
Yeah, no,
ages.
she has a kid.
Ooh.
Robots can have kids too, okay? They can build them out of Meccano or something.
It's the future.
Yeah, the 80s future. So it looks like 25. Except with robots. Yeah. The art's amazing. Getting the robot girl to move, because her character design is batshit insane in terms of detail and stuff. It must be an absolute arse to animate, even as little as they did animate it, in some ways.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's why he destroyed her.
I don't want to animate you anymore. Ah. Is this actually an allegory for him creating complicated character designs that he then can't animate himself, and he regrets killing them off? Now you're thinking, aren't you?
Maybe.
And then all the character designs he's thrown away come and collect them, and when he dies, I don't know, kind of falls apart towards the end.
But they explode
after
first.
seeping green oil from their badges.
This episode reminded me that for some reason I do like characters that have different sock designs on each foot. I don't know why. It's a
That's your
weird
fetish.
It's a weird thing, but just like completely different socks are cool.
Yeah. Asymmetrical character designs in general are pretty cool,
Yes.
I find. Because you don't really find them that often. Outside of like the weird punk rock stuff you got in the 80s.
Everything's got to
Like,
be
leg warmer on one side,
cookie cutter
knee-high sock on the other.
and safe and symmetrical. It's nice to see.
Can't have an asymmetrical school uniform.
Yeah, the whole point of them is that they're uniform, in fairness.
But you could have an asymmetrical uniform. I don't know. Party on the right, sensible on the left.
So one side just like neon plaid and the other just black.
Yeah. Like one side's sailor suit, and then the other side's, I don't know, boob tube and like mini skirt or something. With lots of garish neon like leg warmers and stuff. Like a
So
90s
basically
rave.
you just want the entire world to look like it's still in the 1980s, Dave.
Well, I was talking about the 90s actually. I was talking about like 90s ravers.
or the 90s.
90s with the tops.
So, there was a scene where he was on like a pier by his house, and there was like a robot arm in the water.
Oh yeah.
He's playing with like a bolt from it. Does that imply that he's made waifus in the past and just they weren't good
Well,
enough?
maybe. But then again, you did see like a bin full of discarded robot parts, so it may just be that people just throw robots away when they're broken. I don't know.
Yeah, it was. I figured it was more the equivalent of like throwing a plastic bottle in the lake.
Yeah. It could be that he's made a waifu before.
Yeah. Maybe he has a long string of waifus.
I mean, the way he acted though when she came to made me feel like this is like the first time.
Yeah. Good attempt for first time though. Christ. Crikey, like if I was good at that, anything first time like he was at that.
So was he basically just a stay-at-home dad? Was that his profession?
I think he made toys, but it didn't bring in much money. I think he's like a toy maker professionally. And then somehow he can make a person robot from that. Because he had all those little gizmos and stuff in the shed. Like the saucer and the wind-up rat, was it? I forget.
It was... Oh god, what was
There
it?
was like a.
Yeah, I think it was like a rat.
There was also like that weird
Yeah,
like
something like
flying dragon thing. I think.
Oh yeah, little devil, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But it farted.
Yeah. They made
I don't-
they made an emphasis to make sure
Yeah.
he farted twice on the...
The heights of
It
80s
was like-
humor.
This really doesn't fit. Yeah, it just really didn't fit within that short at all. It felt like he was just like, oh, I need to make this at least funny at some point, so have a farting wind-up devil thing. Why was its farts yellow
Sulfur?
as well? Like, what was in that?
I mean, devil.
I don't know. Put like sulfur in it or a bit of turmeric.
Well, the stuff that came out of her was sort of yellow, so maybe
It was green, wasn't it?
It was like a
If I
greenish,
look at this GIF, it's
Same
not.
thing.
greenish black, right?
Yeah. I think it's generally supposed to be space oil
Yeah, I
or
thought it was
something.
more black.
Space.
Except they're not in space.
And not love nectar.
And if your love nectar is green, go to a doctor. Because, bitch, you got something wrong. Yeah. It's a weird one to talk about because I don't know whether it's actually trying to say something or not, or whether it's just like, I'm going to make something that'll make you think it's about something, but it's really not.
Well, I think it's like he tried to make like the perfect thing in a robot, right? And when it came to, he was freaked the fuck out.
Well, yeah, 'cause the whole thing was he felt a bit beta with his wife, like having the trials in the relationship, so he was trying to make something he could control, and then she has, what's it called when you're she's self-aware, that's the word. Which wasn't something he planned, so he's then lost that control, which freaks him the fuck out, because he's back to square one.
Yep.
And then, of course, he regrets it, because he murdered someone, and then abandons his granddaughter, who's an old woman, which makes him crazy old, if that's his granddaughter and the old woman at the end.
I thought that was just
Goes
supposed
off
to be his
into the
wife.
sunset. No, that's his granddaughter. She specifically says granddad
Oh.
to him.
I mean,
maybe, you know.
No, his granddaughter was the little girl that came, and he like made the toy for.
No, that's his great granddaughter, isn't it?
No, that would have just been granddaughter, because there's the daughter
I
at
know.
first, and then the daughter is old when the robot comes back and explodes, and then
Yeah, and then it's
robot
even later.
comes back. Yeah, I don't think
But-
it's that much later though. Because I mean,
His eyebrows don't grow much, and I think that's the key indicator. Because he gets some crazy eyebrows at the
oh
end.
yeah, Jesus Christ.
Can count eyebrows like tree rings.
They rival that girl from Gundam Wing with the crazy eyebrows. Like they were some crazy ass shit there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it really matters. I think it's just one of his children or something. And somehow he's living on a ranch for some reason. It doesn't really make sense.
Not much, no.
I like the music in it. I thought the music was pretty cool.
Yeah, technically it was pretty astounding in all respects.
Mm-hmm. Anyone got any final thoughts?
Don't fuck robots.
I think I just in the message do fuck robots because others will come back and haunt you, and you'll regret it for the rest of your life.
Robo ghosts.
So fuck the robots.
Was there a point to the little shark air spinny windmill thing? Or was that just something to point out
I think it
between
was just,
scene transitions?
Yeah. I
Because
think
when
it's
you have
just a bit
something
of fun.
this compact, you know, you feel like they're like trying to squeeze something into every little shot that's supposed to mean
I
something.
mean,
They also had a devil who farted. Remember?
Yeah.
I thought at first that like it was supposed to be showing that he was dreaming, but then it happened the second time and he disappeared, so I got nothing on that.
Well, didn't you see the little angel toy? He went to heaven.
I think the implication is he died and she was greeting him to heaven because he'd atoned.
By doing nothing.
Well, he went to the shed and he felt bad about it, and then he went
Oh,
back to
that's good
sitting on
enough.
his porch on the ranch. So that's something.
If he felt that bad about it, why didn't he try to, like, fix her?
She's not the $1 million man. You can't rebuild her stronger, better, faster.
She's a robot!
Some things just can't be undone, okay? Maybe I assume her brain got fried though, because he smashed her face in her robotic brain. You can't rebuild a robotic brain, and she was dead anyway. I think probably that just would have taken too long, and they didn't have the time.
Yeah, I mean that's probably the Watsonian approach to it, Doylist approach to it. One of those two.
I don't know what you're talking about.
There's one of the schools of thought about like literary critique, like either Doylism or Doylist approach or Watson approach. One of them is the out-of-universe justification for things. One of them is the in-universe justification for things. Can't remember which is which.
But nothing means anything.
Or does everything mean everything?
We're all actually Crystal Dragon Jesus.
We're all space stuff.
Or are we? Maybe space stuff is all us. See how I can just flip it on its head. That's the power of theologian. Anyway, if we're done with presents,
I think so, yeah.
which I think we probably are. Starlight Angel, read by Hiroyuki Kitazume, which is the second most 80s thing in this. Is the Kitazume, if you've seen Gundam, you'll recognise this, because he is character designer on Zeta, Double Zeta, and Char's Counterattack, which is why the characters look like they're straight out of Zeta. He also did the key animation of Megazone 2-3, Giant Robo even, and AD Police.
So was every character in this one a robot? Because there's like scenes where like the protagonist male robot is like a human, and then it shows him in robot form, and then there's a shot where like everyone's a robot.
Well, I think everyone's I think all the staff of the park are in fancy dress.
Yeah.
But I think there are some genuine robots running about, but no humanoid ones. I think there are some non-humanoid robots there.
Yeah.
And then you have the little VR sequence, which is, or VR or it's more of a holodeck than VR, where they're kind of robots. Does that count as robots? I don't know. But I think it's supposed to be. It's obviously based on Disneyland. There's a fucking castle in the middle of it.
Yeah, they weren't very subtle about that.
Yeah, nothing was subtle about this one. Like the fact they used the sounds ripped straight out of Star Wars.
I thought I recognized those.
For the blaster shot. Yeah, the blaster shots and the lightsaber shot.
Well,
they were clearly ripped.
You could buy the sound library as long as you pay the whatever the fee is.
They didn't pay. It was the 80s and it was Japan. They probably taped it off their copy of Star Wars. Yeah, I quite. Also, apparently, interesting fact. This short was heavily inspired by the music video for Aha's "Take on Me."
Oh.
I don't see the relationship, but apparently that's what they did.
No, I mean, I kind of see it. Like, I definitely thought it definitely reminded me of a music video, much like whatever the third short was called.
Oh, what you mean? Deprive?
Yes, Deprive.
Yeah.
I forgot to write down some of these titles.
Yeah, I don't quite know why it's called Deprived, though. She's deprived of his robo-dick.
Because he's deprived of his love.
I need to move off dicks real soon.
Maybe we should rename it to the Chinese Dick Cast. Oh, Jesus.
Dio Brando.
Episode 3. Best anime
I quite like this one. It's silly. It's deliciously 80s. But it's kind of cute. Although she's real quick to get over that guy. Because, like, what, like an hour? 2 hours, maybe? And she's straight in the arms of another guy. I mean, I don't want to slut shame, but come on, girl.
I mean, she has freckles.
I was surprised that what I assume was her best friend, didn't know what her boyfriend looked like.
Well, I think the whole point was she was introducing her to her boyfriend.
No, she was introducing, the friend was introducing the main character to her boyfriend, but the friend's boyfriend was also the main character's boyfriend.
Yeah, I don't think they knew either. I mean, I assume they haven't met. I just assumed that the friend was introducing the boyfriend. Maybe they were going for a double date or something.
What?
Could be they were going for a double date. Or yeah, I just assumed they hadn't met each other's boyfriends yet, because they are both relatively new boyfriends or something. I don't really know. It's plot convenience. It's Sherlock Holmes' law or whatever it is that Faust's talking about.
Yeah, this one definitely seemed a lot more comedic than some of the others, if that's the right word to use. Definitely a lot more lighthearted than stuff like Cloud or yeah.
Or what was that, Cloud? Hold your horses.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, more lighthearted than some like Presents. I really like the character designs in it. Especially, and the blonde-haired girl was nice for slapping the dickhead.
That's the legacy of Zeta Gundam, isn't it?
Yeah, she was channeling her inner Bright.
The path that makes 1,000 pilots into real men of destiny. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, actually, strangely, the robot reminded me more of Transformers than Gundam. Or like the big giant
I can see a little
one
bit of
with the
Megatron in him.
lasers. Yeah.
But it looks like new Megatron rather than G1 Megatron.
Oh, maybe that's
If you know
where
what I
Michael
mean.
Bay got the inspiration.
Like Bayformers.
Yeah.
Do you think Michael Bay's even heard of countries outside of America?
Yeah.
Nah, he just sits in his mansion under his little American flag duvets with little American flag pillows, watching a TV screen that's just the American flag and an explosion repeating on it.
Probably most of it's
all he
also
does.
made out of Anfo.
Yeah, and he just has asses all like on little, like, you know, you have like deer heads and stuff. You get as trophies for hunting. He just has butts on his walls like that, little plaques. That's what I think anyway. I quite like Michael Bay actually. I can't deny a man who's figured out how to game the system and is just rolling in dollar.
He's giving people exactly what they want, even though the people are fucking stupid
Yeah,
and brain dead and retarded.
game them checks.
Nothing wrong with popcorn movies.
Someone told me the other day that the Ninja Turtles movie he did was the best movie they ever saw.
Jesus, really?
And I was like,
Have you talked to them since?
Did you punch them?
Have they seen more than one movie?
yes.
What's the other movie? Transformers: Dark of the Moon.
I'm sure they've seen other films.
Was it
Something?
Pearl Harbor?
Birdemic?
Oh, God.
Was it? Yeah, okay. I was going to say obscure anime movie,
I was...
but I don't know. Crystal Triangle? Have you heard of Crystal Triangle, guys?
I've heard of Crystal Maze.
Oh, Crystal Maze is great. Anyway, Starlight Angel. It's an anime.
Yeah, it's a good anime.
Yeah. I liked it a lot. I can't... Yeah. It's great. It's a nice little shoujo story. Not much going on.
Yeah.
We're gonna move on to the hate-a-thon. Cloud. By Manabu Uhashi, who did this under a different name, which makes me think he wasn't that happy with it. He also did key animation on Venus Wars, Bobby's Girl, and Rojin Z. I'll sit back and...
This is not
Let
the
you
one
rant.
that I was referring to when I said I fell asleep during it. I kind of like this one.
Really?
Okay, explain.
I mean, it's just, obviously not a lot's going on. It's very much I guess you say pretty modern in the way it looks. It's just like more aesthetics than anything. And like the music that went along with it, so.
Okay. I
Yeah.
found it intensely boring.
To be honest, I think this is one that really would have benefited from being in HD, because I could not tell what was going on in the background most of the time.
Yeah.
I thought it was slow and plodding and honestly really boring.
I like the flipbook animation bit at the beginning that summed up the entire thing
That
in 30
actually
seconds.
was kind of nice.
Well, apparently the whole thing is supposed to be a history of man.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why it seems so slow and long. I couldn't get into it, I'm sorry. Well, I do like art films sometimes, but this one, I fell asleep in what is 8-minute run.
It's 11.
Even worse.
Oh god. Yeah.
I watched Man vs. Wild.
That good, was it?
Yep, that's so great.
I mean, there's not much to rant about. Like, it's 11 minutes of a little dude walking.
It's a robot.
And then, like, an angel cries and he turns into a guy.
Yes.
And
Was
I
that
think
the
it might have
apocalypse?
been.
Since this is a
Like,
history of humanity.
I think there were nuclear explosions in there somewhere, but I honestly don't know.
There definitely were nukes exploding in there, but I honestly can't remember that much. Kind of blocked it from my mind. Okay. If no one has anything else to say, we'll move on.
That's the end of it.
To Strange Tales of Meiji Machine Culture, Westerners Invasion.
This is the one that I fell asleep during.
Well, you're wrong. This by Hiroyuki Kitakubo. He was director of the original Stardust Crusaders OVAs, Golden Boy, Black Magic M66, Erosion Said, and he was a key animator on Akira FLCL, Do You Remember Love, Shah's Counterattack, Lensman, Gunblast Attack, and the Urusei Yatsura Movie 3. Why did you fall asleep? Do you not like just a bit of silly fun?
So this is the one where they're in big robots and they're fighting the guy who speaks English, right? Yeah, it just didn't grab me, and I was like, okay, I'm trying, and then at one point I was just like, okay, it's just not for me. I mean, okay. I don't really like the whole mecha thing very much, but there are mecha shows I like, so I guess it's just how loud the characters are and how silly I guess it is in actuality just didn't really appeal to me.
Did you not enjoy the German accent?
I did think the English guy's voice and delivery was pretty funny.
Yeah, I don't know, like, whether, because some of them like sounds he was doing for that German accent weren't like just this typical fake German accent stuff. So it makes me think he was like a native speaker, but just a really crap native speaker of German. I don't know. I could be wrong.
They probably got.
I honestly thought he was supposed to be American because they reference Commodore Perry and not wanting more people like him.
Yeah, and that kid says that, oh, I can speak English, but I have trouble with American or something.
Oh yeah.
That's quite a good line. I enjoyed that.
So maybe they got a German guy who tried to be American.
They got a Japanese guy to try to be German.
It definitely sounds German to a degree. Like crazy German professor type, but I don't know. Well, yeah, it was a weird accent, whatever it was.
As you may or may not know, America's run by a secret sect of Nazi Germany.
What lizard? I thought you were about to say lizard men.
I thought he was about to say the Jews.
Ooh.
Christ, like, this is an Angel Cop. This is an Angel Cop. The Jewish conspiracy is not in this one, like it is an Angel Cop. Because the communist terrorists who are controlled by the Jewish conspiracy. That is quite the OVA. Yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed this. It was definitely silly. And I think some of the human characters suffered from being that uber 80s kind of sitcom type.
I think that's the biggest thing, just like how silly it was compared to the other ones, which were pretty serious in tone. I guess this one just like jumped out at me, I guess.
Yeah, no, fair.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as Ringo on this. It didn't really grab me that much. Like, just it really was just like too like. Yeah, like it was, like everything really felt too overblown, I guess, and like really like honestly more like a propaganda film than anything. Well, no, I mean like genuinely like.
We, the brave Japanese, and with our homogeneous racial ethnicity, will throw out the mongrel white people.
Genuinely.
Look, it's the rising sun of Japan.
Yeah, they did take the piss out of that. And he went, no, it's the sunset.
Yeah,
I mean, they did mock that a bit. I mean, I don't know, maybe it could have been the whole thing is kind of taking the piss out of those.
I couldn't tell if it was meant to be taking the piss out of them or just imitating them. And I think that was one of my biggest issues with it.
Well, because there were things like the whole, oh look, it's the rising sun. Oh no, it's the sunset, which make me think it's taking the piss out of them. And the fact that their robot does destroy their own town kind of more than the enemy robot does. I think it might be in a jab at that kind of whole thing of the imperialist, but done in a very silly way.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I'm not gonna Anything else to say about it?
Or it could just be a really silly, fun thing.
I think like maybe if I had saw it like isolated by itself sometime in the future, maybe I would have enjoyed it more. But since I was trying to watch it all in one go,
Oh, okay. You watched all in one go.
yeah,
I just watched one a day.
I probably should have done that.
Yeah, I just did it in one
I watched
straight
it in
go.
one go as well.
Ooh. Get you, people
Except
with
Cloud.
attention spans. Anything else to say about it?
No, I got nothing.
Nope. We'll move on to Chicken Man and Redneck by Takashi Nakamura. He directed Fantastic Children and did key animation for Bobby's Girl, Dagger of Kamui, Nazca the Valley of the Wind, and Do You Remember Love? This one is clearly a take on Night and Bald Mountain from Fantasia.
Yeah, this
Like, very
it
clearly.
was very
I
obviously.
enjoyed it. Probably my second least favourite.
Wait, second least favorite?
I quite liked it. I loved the robot designs in it.
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah.
this one. I liked it, but unfortunately, the one thing that really pissed me off. I don't know. Do any of you guys
No.
play guitar?
No.
Okay, there's
Play
a
saxophone.
there's this software out there called Guitar Pro or something like that that helps you like it'll like tabulate the music so you can like see like frets and when you're supposed to like press on the fret instead of like
Okay.
actual music notes. Anyway, it has like a really bare bones like MIDI sound that it'll make if you like play the track, and the music in this was like so much. It was literally was just like those like sound clips, those sound bites of that thing. And just the part where like the action kicks in and it switches to like guitar sounding synth thing. It was just like, oh, this sounds so bad.
It brought back bad memories, did it?
Yeah, and like it seemed like they had like 3 pieces of music that they would like hard cut to depending on what was going on in the
Yeah.
frame.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly a sweeping score for a 10-minute short.
But I did
Like-
I liked everything else about it.
Yeah, it was very pretty. Great animation.
Yeah, it was like a fun little, like very obviously like Fantasia inspired short to me, I thought.
Flame, got anything to say?
I already said basically the only thing I thought about it. It had really great robot designs.
That's the biggest impression it made.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot going on in it, to be honest. Just that.
But the guy was literally the Allspark. He was bringing out Transformers from, making...
Was this made by Michael Bay?
Yeah, well, it was the ending of, what, Transformers 1, where the Allspark gets out and they just, like, make everything into robots. That's what this was. Where's Oreobot?
I thought that was Transformers too.
I don't know, they're all the same thing. Good thoughts. That was very quick. Nobody got anything to say about this?
I mean, it's tough,
Um,
it's just a big
it's-
chase scene basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One giant
Yeah.
chase scene.
Why was he even chasing him?
Because
Well, I
robots are
think-
evil.
Yeah. And I suppose he was the only one to see what was happening. I don't know.
Yeah, they
Probably
were
because they
trying to
needed
get him
something.
to sign in a copy of the official Secrets Act or something, I don't know.
I do
What?
like at the end where he's like about to go away on a scooter and he realizes he's like way up in the air of like nowhere to go.
Well, yeah, his wheels fall off, don't they? And his
Did they?
moped kind of gives out.
Well, he's also like on a girder
Yeah.
in the middle of a skyscraper.
Yeah. Because when I saw this, I originally thought it was going to be... Oh, and it was all a dream, because he wakes up drunk in the alleyway at the beginning. But no, it kind of... It actually did happen.
Well, it's credited. The title it's credited as is Nightmare.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's one of the titles. It has 2 for some reason. And yeah, I thought it was going to just be a nightmare, and then he wakes up and all the towers have big metal girders sticking out of them. Which is confusing. I don't quite know what that's supposed to mean.
I guess like the robots take over the town at night or something.
And have a party!
Yeah, woo.
And then there's that big one which is cooking stuff, and I don't quite know what that's about.
is hungry.
It's a robot. Robots don't eat.
Oil.
It's drinking.
What was that thing? Oh man, what was it? Where the robots eat like different food that tastes really bad.
What?
I can't remember. I'm drawing a big blank.
Oh, I think I know what you mean. Oh shit, what is it? And they have the special. No, it's Ghost in the Shell. They have special food.
That's it. I don't know why I forgot Ghost in the Shell. Seeing how I brought it up in the last episode, but that's it.
It's that one episode where the guy thinks about killing his boss. I think it talks about it in that.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't kill his boss because the Major gets a ride with him. That was a really confusing episode. Had a great soundtrack though. Christmas in the Silent Forest is the track name for that episode. I don't know why I know that.
Brains, they're weird.
Yeah, it's on the album. Yeah. So if no one has anything else to say about this, words. That'll be
big old chase scene for
Big old
Robot
chase.
Digs.
lots of nice animation and shitty music if you've ever played guitar.
Yes, it's the second I heard it, I was like, "Well, did they go in the future and take this shitty software and use it to compose music?"
That's how all music's made in the future.
You just need some auto-tune singing over the top of it. I mean, you could have just muted it and played your own music. It would have made a difference.
So is that all anyone has to say?
Yeah.
It's a very anticlimactic ending.
Oh, yeah. It's anticlimactic. And a very quick ending as well.
Oh yeah, because
Yeah.
I guess we already talked about the actual ending.
Yeah.
First one.
Yeah.
We can talk about it again. It was funny.
Well, I mean, it's a 90-minute OVA. Where
True. And it isn't insane. It's not like, what was I watching today? Psychic Wars, where it literally begins with a doctor. He removes a demon from a person, like from inside of her, goes to a shrine, hugs a statue during a thunderstorm. Thunderstorm destroys the shrine when he's in it. He becomes a psychic warrior somehow in all of that, and then punches through a wall into an operating theatre to fight a demon starfish that's hugging someone's face. And that's the first 10 minutes. I'm excited to watch the rest. It has a 3.75, I think, on my anime list, which is impressive. If you're getting that low, you're doing something amazing.
There's like different levels of trash underneath 6 out of 10 on Mal.
Yeah, the thing is, once you get below like 5, that's when you know it's actually hilarious trash. I don't mind bad shows when they're kind of just, the mess show, the 5 out of 10s. Like actually 5 out of 10, not Mal 5 out of 10. But they're kind of just okay shows. I can't stand it. But they're hilariously bad. Like Battle Royale High School, where, you know, Tokusatsu space guy, a demon, and a psychic guy with a stick fight a fairy.
But yeah, these OVAs or ONAs, whatever you want to call them.
This is an OVA. Or
I'm talking
OAV
about
if you-
the Robot Carnival.
Yeah, it'll be an OVA or OAV, whichever one you want to say. It won't be an ONA, because that's net animation.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of those, like if you go to YouTube and you look up people's like animation work that they're like trying to use to showcase their skills. Besides Presence, which was kind of like an actual episode of something. They're all just like, you know, really pretty works of art, basically.
Yeah, they're fun animation showcases, for the most part. Cloud doesn't really have animation, but that's some pretty art, I suppose. Some pretty little, what are they, like, I don't know, like pencil drawings from the looks of it?
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah.
Which do you guys think had the best animation?
Presence.
Presence, yeah. Just because also those character designs were so detailed.
Yeah, I guess probably Presence.
Presence in the opening / closing, I guess, for me.
Yeah. The opening closing had great animation too.
Yeah.
And, I don't know,
I actually think I liked Starlight Angel the best, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like Starlight Angel the best.
Yes.
It had
Is that just because of character designs?
It had drama. It had action. It had everything.
Yeah,
Slaps.
it had romance, it had slapstick, it had drama, it had everything.
It had slaps. The blonde-haired chick
and
slapped the
slaps.
dude.
She did. She had a royal fist of him. No, wait, no. Ooh, that sounds bad. Christ.
Chicks before dicks.
Yeah. That's the word. Yeah. I liked it, even with its stolen assets. I think Starlight Angel's my favourite too, probably. Although I do like Deprive purely because of Mr. Spangle Jangles at the end. With his little dog collar and stuff.
I find it confusing why this has such a... Well, I guess, 7.4 isn't that great. But, seeing how Mal's user base is mostly, I would assume, younger people, that's a pretty high score for such an old series.
Well, it did used to be on US TV. They would play... Not all of it at once, they just played one shorter at a time or something to make up the difference. So I think you got quite a few people there. And it's reasonably famous for an older thing. Among certain crowds anyway. I mean, a lot of people want this to get a re-release from Discotheque because they're the only people who are going to do it. But in a Blu-ray even. But I just don't know whether the materials still exist anymore. Because I don't think Japan's even had a Blu-ray or a DVD for ages.
Intruder alert! Intruder alert!
Well, I must be a goddamn seer or something, because since the recording of this podcast and the release of it, we had Otakon, and Discotheque actually announced a Blu-ray for Robot Carnival, our Lord and Saviours at Discotheque, bringing us everything we want, one Blu-ray at a time. I'm actually quite surprised, but this is the 30th anniversary, so hopefully it'll be good, and hopefully it'll come over to the UK too, and other territories, because goddamn Discotheque does good work, and nobody else anywhere else wants to seem to pick up their stuff. Oh well.
This is old news, let it go!
So, I don't know.
Well, if they don't have any faith in the brand and the name alone, they won't... Even if they had, they probably wouldn't go through the effort of re-releasing it.
Yeah, but you would have thought it would have a re-release in Japan at least.
Yeah.
Because it is by Otomo, who is a name still. I mean, his name basically meant anime for a good 10, 20 years to a lot of people. Purely on the basis of Akira.
Only 8,000 people on Mal have watched this?
Really?
Ugh. That's what members means people watched, right? I'm new to
People
Mal,
have
so...
I mean, 3,000 or 3,400 people
I
is
don't know.
pretty respectable, I thought. Especially for something for 30 years old.
Wait, for Robot Carnival?
Oh, 8,000?
It has 8,000.
Yeah, it has 8,000.
Popularity is
No, well, for me it's saying
3,591.
3,400 users.
I think that's people who actually... Well, yeah, what's the difference between users and members? Is members people who even said, like, plan to watch or dropped or something?
Yes.
Oh, okay,
We're
that might
scored
be
by
it.
3,400 users.
That might just be it then.
Users anywhere else, unless I'm being blind. Which is always the case.
I guess only a third, or close to a third, of the users actually bother to rate it.
Yeah.
Maybe only a third could finish it.
Ooh.
They got the cloud and just quit.
Yeah, no, Cloud. It's only 90 minutes. I mean, Christ. Let's look at airings. Let's see if more people have seen the shittiest airing of this season. Let's go.
So, smartphone. Well, actually, there's...
Sort by score, which is the worst airing of this season according to my anime list. Well, Violet Evergarden's the top one apparently, even though no one's seen it. As is Maho Tsukai no Yomo, which hasn't started
Yome.
yet either. Actually, it has. No, it hasn't. It starts in July.
Yeah, it starts in... I thought it started next season.
No, it starts in 3 days. Or 4 days. I don't know how many
Oh, shit.
days this month has.
When does the next Monogatari season thing start? Doesn't that start like in August?
August.
Yeah, it's...
I think it's like August
3 days in
11th
August.
or something like that.
Oh my god. Reflection. The Reflection, which is a controversial anime, shall we say, has 18,600 Has over twice as many as Robot Carnival. The Reflection.
Well, that's because,
Stan Lee, but does anyone care about Stan Lee that much?
No.
But luckily, Pico Taru no Lullaby Lullaby only has 796, so at least Robot Carnival is beating something this season.
It's also beating Future Card Buddy Fight.
Yeah, it's beating Kato X Answer as well, whatever that is. Beating TQ9, and might be even beating Symphogear. I haven't actually watched this season's Symphogear yet. Is it any good?
I thought it was decent. First episode was not quite as hype as the first episode of GX, but yeah.
But nothing can be as hype as the first episode of GX.
Like those first 5 minutes even. Yeah, I would say it's probably... definitely better than the first season.
Is it School Days?
No, God no, it's not School Days.
Well, then there you go. Watch it.
I will watch it. Well, if that's all we've got to say, really, thank you for listening to the Chinese Cartoon Podcast. Join us in 2 weeks' time when we'll talk about something else. We'll come up with a topic in the meantime. It'll probably be a very fun topic, because this is the most fun podcast there is.
Dicks.
Cat girl dicks. That is our topic for next week.
So, Felix, basically.
Yeah, we're gonna spend an hour and a half just
Okay.
talking about Felix.
Yep.
Okay,
Stretched it
so-
out to 3 hours.
Say goodbye, Faust.
Goodbye.
Say goodbye, Flame.
Farewell.
Say goodbye, Ringo.
Goodbye. Thanks for listening.
And goodbye from me. See you next time. Bye bye.
That was kind of creepy.
The intro and outro music to this podcast is provided by our very own Ringo and can be found at ringo-scar.bandcamp.com. And the background music was Straight and can be found at www.bensound.com. Links are in the description below.